I'm the Executive Director of DTDC. Most of you may know us as one of India's largest express and courier companies with one of the largest networks that is there. But what we are trying to develop our organization is an integrated express, 3PL and e-commerce solutions company. And we run our brand with two very simple promises that we make to our customers. Year on year, we can demonstrate to our customer that we're going to improve your service efficiencies and we're going to help you optimize your spends. And it is with that same philosophy that DTDC specifically made a foray into the e-commerce sector. And that's what would be more relevant to the audience here. 2 years back, we founded a company only to focus on e-commerce and e-commerce segment in terms of the e-commerce e-retailers as well as the end consumers. It's a brand more popularly known as .Zot, and we've completed our first year of operations, and very similar experience to like what Yashpal and Bablu spoke about. Extremely challenging, extremely interesting, and probably things that are happening in this space are going to rewrite the way not just the retailing industry is known as, but definitely how the way the logistics and supply chain industry is known. With that, I would like to get into the actual discussion, and before I open up the discussion along with my fellow panelists, I just wanted to contextualize few things which we all need to keep in mind in terms of this particular space and where fulfillment as a challenge really comes in. Number one is that all consumers in an e-retailing space expect instant gratification. If they have bought something online, unlike in the physical space, they would like to have their product in their hands as soon as possible. The second aspect which possibly where fulfillment has to address challenges is you have to get the right product in the right place at the right time. You can get wrong with it in a physical store, but when you go wrong with it online, it has far-reaching cascading effects for an e-retailer as well as a supplier. Last but not the least, I think customers are really enhancing their preferences, and as Yashpal and Bablu spoke about, and like Sachin would probably be getting into, what consumers are demanding, the kind of products that they are now willing to buy online has totally changed, and most suppliers in this industry will have to be ahead of the curve to see that change before it happens and probably try addressing it. So with that, I'll open up a question to the panelists, and I'd like to have each one of them respond to that. Probably many in the audience and largely in this industry would like to know is that given these challenges exist and given that fulfillment at the end of the day is really where the proof of the pudding is, how do you see organizations and 3PL players, supply chain specialists, logistics players, and indeed technology suppliers, how do you think they're trying to address this whole problem and address the core concerns of e-retailer? It did require organizations like us to look at the problem in a totally different way. And I think in a space where you're no longer just delivering a package and you're actually handling money, the lines between being a courier company or a logistics company and being a cash management system, I think they start to blur. And I think we learned very quickly that it requires a larger degree of collaboration also to come in. So you cannot just look at it in the form of a traditional business of collecting money and trying to remit it in the ordinary way. We've had some interesting experiences there. When we began the business, it was remittances to customers once in 15 days. And today we have managed to bring it down to once in 3 days that we are remitting money to customers. We've all been seeing over the last 15 days the world's largest e-commerce player and what they've been putting out on the ads that they have on newspaper and on the IPL matches. I think in the future it's differentiated delivery and a differentiated service, which I think is going to be the real game changer. But having touched upon this point, I think largely so far we've been discussing a lot about the demands which a large e-retail player will really have.